alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I could barely hear you, but my audio is okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
I can hear you. It's good.
Okay, I'm gonna stop my video and mute.
Okay, I'll start the program.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother Safiullah, brothers and sisters. Usually we meet in the last 10 days in MCMC working on big projects, alhamdulillah. This year we also had the same plan, but we have to rush to come back from Medina Manawara because our son Muhammad Safiullah passed away. May Allah give him Jannat al-Firdaus. Now we are establishing an orphanage on his name in Peshawar. Please help us donate to that cause. The link is given and the detail is given. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The best part of Ramadan may still be ahead. Its final days and final hours are Miskul Khitam, the musk that seals it all, the crowning touch. Don't miss out on that. Make sure that you pay your zakat, if you usually do in Ramadan. Make sure that you pay your zakat al-fitr or fitrah before the time for Salatul Eid. Remain as enthusiastic as you started. Keep up your i'tikaf. Laylatul Qadr, with all of its blessings and rewards, is probably still awaiting you, and your sincerity and ibadah may be the cause of relief for all the world from the coronavirus.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I'm going to sing a nasheed. طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داع أيها المبعوث فينا جئت بالأمر المطاع جئت شرفت المدينة مرحبا يا خير داع طلع النور
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hope everyone is doing very well. Alhamdulillah. We're approaching the last few days of Ramadan, and I would like the host to allow me to share my screen because they will not let me do that. So, Brother Takreem, inshallah, if you can let me, if you can enable screen sharing, I can share this amazing topic we have prepared for today. Inshallah. Hope you guys have been learning and implementing everything this month and saving your best efforts for the last few nights. Bismillah. We're ready. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ramadan Kareem. This is the end of Ramadan. Hope you guys are having a blessed Ramadan with your families, enjoying all your samosas and pakoras. And I didn't get any from you guys, but inshallah next year, when this whole corona thing is gone, we will have iftar together, inshallah, at the masjid. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Let's start with our presentation. Today's presentation is about the greatest battle ever, the decisive battle of Badr. Now, if you don't know about this battle, you're about to find out why this is such a decisive battle in the history of Islam. Bismillah. Here we go. So there's some things that you should know that happened before the Battle of Badr. These are very interesting events that happened in the history of Islam. One of the amazing commandments that came before the Battle of Badr was a command for fasting the month of Ramadan. So, you know, the month that we're going through right now, no eating allowed in the daytime. Now, another amazing thing that you might not know about is that the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the command to the Muslims to change the Qibla from Masjid al-Aqsa to the Kaaba in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. And at this time, you have to know that the Muslims used to pray facing Jerusalem, Palestine. And during this time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed, this is before the Battle of Badr, to turn their faces the other way in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 144, and face the Kaaba. Now, although Masjid al-Aqsa is one of our holy places, the Muslims were very happy about this because they loved the Kaaba. That's where they came from, to Medina. But there were non-Muslims and the munafiqun who were not happy about this, right? They were not happy about changing the Qibla from Jerusalem because they used to pray to Jerusalem before anyway. So a lot of them actually left Islam because of this commandment, but the Muslims were happy because the munafiqun were exposed, right? Now they knew who were the munafiqun. So who are the munafiqun? This is a question for you guys. What or who is a munafiq and who are the munafiqun? Can anyone figure that out? I'll give you a few seconds to figure it out. It's not a good thing. I'll give you a hint. Okay, none of us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. We make dua from any nifaq or from being a munafiq and even facing the munafiq. Okay, yes. All right, I'm gonna give you a simple way to understand this. Okay, this is from one of my favorite cartoon shows, PJ Masks. I know all of you guys watch this show. This is one of my favorite episodes where Romeo becomes a munafiq. Check this out. So this is Romeo. He copies Owlette and he turns himself into Owlette. So now he looks like Owlette. He talks like Owlette. He dresses like Owlette, but he's not Owlette, right? So this is basically when a non-Muslim pretends to be a Muslim. He looks like a Muslim, talks like a Muslim, dresses like a Muslim, but in his heart, there is no iman, right? That is a munafiq. I hope you will never forget now what a munafiq is. Now, some of the things that led to the Battle of Badr was the Muslims actually ended up violating the sacred months. Now, the sacred months, one of the sacred months is actually Rajab. And the reason why these months were sacred was because even the non-Muslim used to come to Mecca and make the waf and do Umrah. This is even before Islam. So to protect these travelers and these pilgrims, there was the sanctified months. So there was no fighting allowed in these months. You were not allowed to fight, right? So what happened was, once this Muslim caravan from Medina, they were going and they encountered a Qurayshi caravan. And you know, they don't like each other, right? The pagans and Muslims. So they ended up attacking the Qurayshi caravan, and they outnumbered them, and they actually killed one of the Quraysh, and they took some people captive, and they took these pagans captive to the Prophet ﷺ, and they thought they did a good thing. But when the Prophet ﷺ found out what they did, he was extremely upset. He said, "You guys have violated the sacred months." When he found out, he told them to immediately release these captives. Not only that, he actually gave these captives money to take with them back to Mecca to show some remorse and for reparation for what had happened. Now, when this happened, they went back to Mecca. How do you think the Quraysh reacted to this, right? Do you think, here are your options, all right? So do you think when these people, the two captives came back and told them what had happened, do you think they accepted the apology of the Muslims and then they lived happily ever after, these pagans? Or B, did they ask for more money? Because, they were greedy, right? Or C, did they take this as an opportunity to gather up the forces and increase the hatred of the Muslims amongst the non-Muslims, to gather them up, to rile them up? Okay, A, B, or C? What do you think it was? I don't even know why I'm teaching this lesson. You guys already know everything, mashallah. So yes, the right answer is C. They took this opportunity to rile up the hatred and increase their enmity of Islam, right? So the enemies were becoming stronger because of this. Now, okay, so leading up to the Battle of Badr, there was also this Qurayshi caravan, right? So the Quraysh, the pagans, they would take these trips from Mecca to Syria and then back for trade. So the Prophet ﷺ found out that there was this one Qurayshi caravan with a lot of money, right? They were going with a lot of goods, and then a spy told the Prophet ﷺ that this Qurayshi caravan is coming. Now the Prophet ﷺ decided that they're going to raid this caravan and take their goods, okay? And the reason why, if you want to know, is because remember, when the Muslims got kicked out of Mecca, right? The pagans, they took everything. Muslims had nothing left. They took their possessions, they took their houses, they left with nothing. They had to escape and sneak out with nothing. So they took this as an opportunity to try to get some of these goods back. So the Prophet ﷺ actually gathered a small army, right? Because he wasn't really going for battle. He was going to take the goods from this caravan. So he only had about 300 men, 313 men, 2 horses, and 70 camels. So you got 313 men with only 72 animals. Obviously, there's not enough animal for every person, so you got to share. Remember, sharing is caring, okay? And they headed towards Badr. Now, what happened at Badr was this caravan with a lot of money, they were led by Abu Sufyan bin Harb, who was very smart. And a spy told him that the Muslim army was coming. So he was like, ooh, he was a little scared. So he's like, all right, you go to Mecca and tell the people in Mecca what's happening and send a bigger army to help protect me. And I'm going to avoid Badr. So what he did was he actually avoided Badr. And Badr was the place where the caravan would stop and rest, and there was water there. So he actually avoided, and he did a detour. But the Prophet ﷺ didn't know this, right? So the spy, he went back to the Quraysh and he told Abu Jahl. Abu Jahl got extremely upset, and then he gathered a big army of 1,300 people to go towards Badr to help this caravan protect their goods and fight the Muslims. Okay. So now what happened was the Quraysh caravan escaped, right? And they were safe. So they ended up sending a messenger to Abu Jahl's army, which was on the way, that, hey, you guys don't need to come anymore because we're safe and we're actually on our way to Mecca. We were able to do a detour. So Abu Jahl didn't like this. He was like, what should I do now? So what do you think Abu Jahl did? He's the enemy of Islam. He's one of the chief enemies of Islam. So what do you think he did at this point? A, do you think he turned around and he left, saying like, okay, let's leave? Or B, do you think he just became Muslim at this point and took the Shahada, right? Or C, did he say, you know what? We're going to fight these Muslims and we're going to destroy them because they're weak no matter what. I don't care if our caravan is safe. I'm going to take this opportunity and I'm going to attack the Muslims. Do you think it was A, B, or C? He did not take the Shahada, I'll tell you that, okay? If he did, I think his name wouldn't have been Abu Jahl anymore. So now it's A or C. A or C. And the right answer is yes, it is C, as in cat. He said he would fight the Muslims no matter what. Now, what happened was when he consulted with his other tribes that were with him and said that, you know what, we're going to go fight anyway. One of the tribes of Banu Zahra, they said, you know what, we came here to protect just our goods. We're not here to fight the Muslims. We just wanted to protect our goods. If you want to go fight, you go fight. We're leaving. So 300 of them actually left. So now they went from 1,300 men to 1,000 men. But these 1,000 men, you know, Abu Jahl riled them up, right? Abu Jahl said, you know what, it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 of us. We lost 300 men, but we're still gonna go attack the Muslims, and we're gonna set them straight, and we're gonna show them how weak they are and how strong we are. So off they went towards Badr. Even though they knew the caravan was safe, they said we're gonna go towards Badr and attack the Muslims. But guess what? Now the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he also had somebody tell him that Abu Jahl is on the way to Badr with 1,000 men. 1,000 men, right? Now, how many Muslims were there? 300, right? About 313, about 300, right? So now some of the Muslims, they got a little scared, right? Because now there's only 300 of them, and there's an army of 1,000 men coming to fight with them. And the Prophet ﷺ, believe it or not, he would actually consult with the companions. What should we do? And then he consulted with the companions, and Abu Bakr and Umar and a couple other companions. They said, and Sa'ad bin Mu'adh, they said, you know what? We're going to fight. You know, we're not scared. Allah is with us. There's 300 of us, 1,000 of them. It doesn't matter because Allah is with us. So Sa'ad bin Mu'adh said, O Prophet, if you command us to jump in the ocean, every single one of us would jump in the ocean without a doubt, without hesitation. And we're with you. Let's do this, and we'll show you what kind of warriors we are. Alhamdulillah. Allahu Akbar. Now, they had set up camp near the water source in Badr. So this was a strategic move because Badr had some water sources which were very important. So what the Muslims did was they made their camp around the water source. So now that when the Quraysh army came, they couldn't get the water, right? And then they set up a little tent for the Prophet ﷺ. That was like his central command station. Now the Prophet ﷺ made a lot of dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So, you know, this is a lesson for us. As the month of Ramadan, the month of mercy. Even the Prophet ﷺ used to make so much dua. So obviously we should be making dua all the time. Prophet ﷺ made dua for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help came. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help came in many different ways. Actually, one of the ways the help of Allah came was, can you imagine 1,000 people trying to attack you? How would your mind be? You'd be scared, right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this blessed rain that sent peace upon the Muslims, and then the Muslims slept peacefully that night. Even though they knew that they're up against this massive army, they slept like little babies, and they were refreshed, ready to go. And now this was the time. The armies, the next day, they were face to face. 1,000 people, they can see 300. But guess what? Those 300 thought that thought that they were stronger than the 1,000, and then the 1,000 thought they were weaker than the 300, because the 313 Muslims were on the truth. Alhamdulillah. So before the battle started, the Quraysh, because they're arrogant, they sent their 3 best warriors, Utbah, Shayba, and Walid, and they challenged the Muslims to one-on-one battle, 3-on-3. They told the Muslims, you send 3 of your best people against 3 of our best people. So the Muslims, actually, the Ansar, the people of Medina, were coming, and then they said, no, we want the Muhajirin. So then along came Ubaidah, Hamza, and Ali radiallahu anh, and then they had this one-on-one battle. And then Hamza and Ali quickly took care of their opponents. And then Ubaidah was struggling with having a hard time. And then Ali and Hamza radiallahu anh, they came and they helped him. And alhamdulillah, the Muslims had won and defeated the kuffar. And then they had lost. Now, the kuffar were obviously, they were dismayed. They're like, how could this happen? 3 of our best people just died right in front of us before the battle even started. So they lost confidence, and fear came in their heart. But Shaitan riled up Abu Jahl to rile his army up. And he said, you know what? We're angry. We're going to avenge them. Let's attack them. So they charged at the Muslims, right? 1,000 people are charging at the Muslims. Now, one thing you got to know about the strategy was the Prophet ﷺ told the Muslim army, he gathered them in a straight line, and he told them Do not do anything, right, until I tell you to. So let the enemies come to us. When they come closer, first thing we're gonna do is throw our arrows, right? We're gonna, with the bow and arrows, we're gonna attack them. And when they get really close is when we are going to fight, right? So the Muslims actually listened to the Prophet ﷺ, and then they fought valiantly, and they saw that they were inflicting heavy harm on the Muslims. And they were saying ahad, ahad. Remember what ahad means? You guys remember? It was one of the first few lessons. Ahad, ahad. It's also in Surah Al-Ikhlas. Yes, it means one, one. So they were saying that we believe in one God, Allah, and Allah is with us, and they were winning the battle. The Prophet ﷺ threw some dust at the faces of the Quraysh, of the pagans, and this dust went in their eyes and nose, and they were confused by this also. All these amazing things were happening for the Muslims. Now, another amazing thing that happened, because remember, the Prophet ﷺ was making all this dua for help, and the help of Allah came again, came even more this time. The Prophet ﷺ turned to his companion, his best friend, Abu Bakr, and he said, Abu Bakr, rejoice, the help of Allah has come. Guess who it was? The help of Allah, it was Angel Jibreel alayhi salam. He came with 1,000 angels to help the Muslims. And he led the charge of the angels against the enemies of Islam. 1,000 angels fighting alongside with the Muslims. Who do you think is going to win this battle? Take that, enemies of Islam. Alhamdulillah. The Muslims, they fought like brave lions, right? 300 versus 1,000, it doesn't matter, right? They were outnumbered, but they fought valiantly, right? Like lions. Abu Jahl was actually killed by 2 young boys in that battle, believe it or not, because they couldn't stand the fact that he hated Islam and used to make fun of the Prophet ﷺ. So they actually 2 of them, young boys, actually killed him. And Shaitan, who was doing whispering to the kuffar, he actually ran away too, scared. Alhamdulillah. The enemies of Islam, a lot of them died. A lot of them, including Abu Jahl. And then after this battle, some enemies were actually taken captive, right? And then the victorious Muslims, they went back to Medina. The word has spread, the news had spread in Mecca that the Quraysh, their pagans, their army had lost, and they were upset and they were dismayed and they were disgraced. And the Muslims in Medina, when they found out that the Muslims had won, they were overjoyed with happiness, and they couldn't wait. And they actually went to they went towards Badr to greet the Muslims as they're coming back. And the Muslims actually took some captives, and then they were deciding what to do with these captives in Medina. And the Prophet ﷺ made a deal with some of the captives that will let you go, will free you, and you can go back. You can go back to Mecca on one condition. You're gonna have to teach the Muslims how to read and write in Medina. So the literate among the captives, they actually were teaching the Muslims. And this is how much the Prophet ﷺ valued reading and writing and education. And he took this to empower the Muslims. Alhamdulillah, this was a great time for Muslims, and this was a great battle for the Muslims. So with that, inshallah, we see that when you're with Allah, when you're on the side of Allah, when the party of Allah, Allah helps you, and you're with the haqq. So 300 versus 1,000 doesn't matter. Don't ever be down. And inshallah, the last few days of Ramadan, and I want all you guys to take advantage. I know you're young, but your dua is very powerful. You can ask for anything. You want a toy? Ask for a toy. Allah will inshallah bless you with that toy if that toy is good for you. But better than that, ask for yourself to be a good Muslim, and ask for your parents and your family and the ummah to all be united in Jannah. And also this tonight, inshallah, we pray inshallah tonight is Laylatul Qadr. So do not forget to donate, right? Your rewards will multiply. So make sure you donate to mcmcnj.org. And don't forget to complete your quiz, mcmj.org/Ramadan stars. Jazakallah khairan. Inshallah, we will see you inshallah after Ramadan. This will be my last one. It's been a great pleasure being with you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاح حي